Ark of Covenant. The Ark of Covenant is one of the greatest mysteries the world has ever known. So holy that looking at it or touching it could be fatal. It first appeared in the Bible during the time of Moses. After God has given Moses the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai, he gives him a detailed instruction for building the Ark of Covenant. The ark was not only a box to store the tablets on which the Ten Commandments were carved, but it was also designed to represent God's throne on earth. This ark was made of wood and coated entirely with gold. The lid on top of the ark was called a mercy seat, with two angelic beings carved from pure gold. It was from this mercy seat God would instruct the Israelites. The Ark of Covenant is described as a movable sanctuary for the Israelites and a place for God to sit until they arrived in the Promised Land. The ark was not to be touched or looked when uncovered. These were the instructions given by God. So, when moving, the ark was covered by skins and cloths, hidden even from the priest who carried it. When camped, it was placed within a temporary shelter, which was a tent made up of layers of curtains, veils, and skins. Even the high priest was forbidden from being in the presence of the ark, except on the Day of Atonement, when the high priest would go once a year to sprinkle blood of the sacrificed. The judgment then would fall upon the sacrificed blood instead of the high priest. This ark was not an ordinary box. The Bible shows it to possess a great power to destroy the enemies of God or remove obstacles that stand in the way of His chosen people. In the book of Joshua, when Joshua led the Israelites into the promised land, the ark parted waters of Jordan River for them to cross. Also, when the ark was carried around the city walls of Jericho, the walls came trembling down. The ark is said to be so sacred that in the book of Samuel, somewhere between 50 to 70,000 people died immediately after looking at the ark, just out of curiosity. The ark not only protected the Israelites from their human enemies but from natural obstructions as well. The story goes sparks would form between the two angels on the mercy seat and then clear the path from snakes, scorpions, and thorny bushes. So it suffices to say that it did wield an unstoppable power to whoever owned it. Now, the Ark of Covenant features heavily from the time of Moses to the eras of King David and King Solomon, who built a temple to keep the Ark. But it basically disappears from the records around the time of Prophet Jeremiah. What happened at that time for such an important artifact to disappear from history? After Israel split into two nations, the northern kingdom fell, and the southern kingdom of Judah, where stood the temple built by Solomon, which had the ark, was destroyed by the Babylonian Empire. From here, the theories of whereabouts of the Ark of Covenant start. In the book of Maccabees, it states how Jeremiah grabbed the ark and hid it somewhere in Mount Nebo before the Babylonians could destroy the temple, and the ark was supposed to remain hidden until the right time. But not everyone believes this, and many people claim to possess the ark. For example, Ethiopian Christians have claimed for centuries that the ark is in Ethiopian city called Axum and has been fiercely guarded by monks who dedicate their lives to protect it. Another claim is that the Knight Templars apparently removed the Ark of Covenant from the ruins of Solomon's temple and took it to French cathedral. Others say that the Templars had brought the Ark to Britain and not France. Recent claim is that it has been found in the tomb of Alexander the Great. But to this day, there are no solid evidence for these claims. So it goes without saying that the Ark of Covenant remains one of the world's most interesting and unsolved mystery yet.